If you are over 70, you may have seen terrifying posts claiming Washington is coming for your driver license. Many online rumors assert that a new federal law will force all older citizens to take mandatory road tests immediately. They say the government is preparing to strip away your driving privileges and your personal mobility starting this year. This massive wave of online misinformation is spreading like wildfire and causing genuine panic within our community nationwide. So should older drivers panic right now? The short answer is no. But our community must pay close attention to what is actually changing behind the scenes at the state level. The hard truth behind this bureaucratic scare reveals a much more complex battle over our mobility and independence. We must understand that driving is not just a convenience, but the absolute lifeblood of middle-class financial survival. Without a valid license, older workers cannot reach their jobs, and families are cut off from essential medical care. Losing your driving privileges in America means becoming instantly dependent on expensive and unreliable transportation networks. Our community must share this critical investigative analysis immediately to shield vulnerable families from unnecessary panic and anxiety. If this kind of practical regulatory update helps your family stay with us through the entire detailed report today, this comprehensive breakdown will arm our collective group with the exact legal facts needed to protect your daily mobility. Please follow every single section of this report to discover how state systems are quietly changing your rights today. The reality of driver licensing in the United States is governed by a fundamental constitutional principle most people ignore. Under the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, the federal government has absolutely no authority over individual driver licensing programs. Every single rule regarding renewals, testing, and revocations is controlled strictly by individual state agencies and department budgets. There is no magical federal mandate taking effect this year, and Washington is not coming to seize your keys. Major legal organizations and national highway safety institutes have thoroughly investigated and completely debunked these viral online claims. When you see those alarming headlines on your newsfeed, you can safely ignore them as pure sensationalism and clickbait. However, a much more insidious challenge is developing quietly at the state level through complex regulatory gray areas. While bureaucrats claim to protect public safety, their shifting rules create a massive burden for the middle class. Families who are too wealthy for public aid, but too poor to hire expensive attorneys, are stuck in this trap. They are forced to navigate a dizzying maze of state-by-state regulations just to maintain their basic freedom. The financial stakes are incredibly high because public transit options in most American suburbs are completely non-existent. Let us look at the groundbreaking changes happening in Illinois, where the rules are shifting significantly very soon. Starting on July 1st, 2026, Illinois is raising its mandatory road test age to 87. Under the previous framework, drivers faced an automatic behind-the-wheel exam the moment they turned 79 years old. Consider a driver like Carol from Chicago, who spent months dreading her upcoming 79th birthday because of this test. The new policy completely eliminates that stressful requirement for Carol and hundreds of thousands of older drivers across the state. If you are between 79 and 86, you will only face standard vision screenings and normal renewal fees. This is a massive victory for senior advocacy groups who have fought against unfair age discrimination for many years. It proves that collective pressure can force bureaucratic systems to roll back restrictive and unnecessary testing policies. Meanwhile, California has quietly implemented its own significant regulatory shift that almost nobody is talking about today. The state has officially eliminated the mandatory written knowledge exam for drivers aged 70 and older at renewal. As long as an individual maintains a clean driving record, they no longer face that anxiety-inducing computer test. Yet thousands of citizens still show up to field offices gripped by intense fear because the state failed to notify them. Robert, a retired mechanic from Ventura County, recently went to renew his license, expecting a difficult time with the exam. He was incredibly relieved to find out that he only needed a simple eye test before paying his standard renewal fees. California still mandates an in-person appearance and a rapid vision test, but the written obstacle is completely gone. This lack of clear communication from officials highlights how the system leaves ordinary people completely in the dark. Our community must take the initiative to learn these hidden updates before walking into a government office unprepared. When we look across the nation, we see a highly fragmented patchwork of state requirements that creates massive confusion. Arizona forces drivers into shorter renewal cycles and mandatory in-person appearances starting at age 65. States like Iowa and Alaska demand rigorous vision screenings the moment a citizen reaches the age of 70. Further east, Indiana, Massachusetts, New Mexico, and Virginia activate much stricter renewal criteria at 75 years old. Texas maintains a strict threshold at 79, while Nevada slashes renewal validity from 8 years down to 4. Nevada also mandates comprehensive vision checks at every single renewal cycle once a driver hits 71 years old. This chaotic variance means that what is perfectly legal in one state could get your license suspended in another. To protect your independence, you must verify your specific local laws directly through official highway safety databases immediately. Do not rely on neighborhood gossip or outdated brochures from 3 years ago because policies change without public notice. Now we must investigate a deeply unsettling hidden mechanism that is quietly expanding across multiple states this year. A growing number of jurisdictions are legally forcing medical professionals to report private patient conditions directly to authorities. This is not a voluntary choice or a friendly recommendation, but a strict statutory obligation backed by law. Physicians face severe penalties if they fail to notify state agencies about specific diagnoses within their medical offices. The list of reportable conditions includes newly discovered dementia, cognitive decline, epilepsy, and sudden seizure disorders. Severe vision degradation, certain cardiac anomalies, and untreated sleep apnea also trigger these automatic bureaucratic reporting systems. Major states, including California, Delaware, Nevada, New Jersey, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, have fully enacted these mandatory laws. This means your private doctor could be forced to flag your file to the Department of Motor Vehicles today. Once that medical notification enters the government system, it triggers an automatic review of your entire driving history. You will not receive a polite phone call, but a formal legal letter demanding immediate action or testing. Does this mean everyone loses their license? Absolutely not. In most cases, it simply means you must provide additional medical evaluations from your specialist to clear your record. If you ignore that bureaucratic notice, your driving privileges will be summarily suspended without any further individual hearing. When facing these serious health diagnoses, you must ask your physician directly about their state reporting mandates immediately. Understanding this process in advance allows American families to prepare a proper medical defense instead of being blindsided. We must also examine the confidential reporting channels that allow private individuals to initiate targeted state investigations. Every single state in the country now provides a mechanism for family members or law enforcement to flag drivers. These requests are kept completely anonymous, meaning the driver is never told who initiated the state safety review. While designed to keep dangerous individuals off the road, this tool can easily be abused during bitter family disputes. The targeted driver is suddenly forced to undergo rigorous physical examinations and formal behind-the-wheel evaluations. If you have an older relative whose safety is genuinely declining, this formal pathway does exist across America, but it must be used with extreme caution and deep empathy rather than as an arbitrary weapon of control. We must also address the massive nationwide shift regarding federal identification mandates that impacts every single traveler. The official deadline for the Federal Real ID Act has officially passed after multiple years of continuous delays. A standard traditional driver license is no longer sufficient to clear airport security checkpoints for domestic flights. To board any commercial aircraft within the United States, you must possess a Real ID compliant document today. You can easily verify your status by looking closely at the top right corner of your current plastic card. If you see a gold or black star embedded in the design, your license is fully compliant with federal law. If that star is missing, you will be turned away at the airport security gate by federal agents immediately. Fixing this requires an in-person visit to your local office with your Social Security card and residency proofs. Alternatively, a valid United States passport will successfully bypass this requirement at every airport security line nationwide. Amidst these growing regulatory burdens, there is one highly effective strategy to reclaim financial control over your budget. Completing an approved defensive driving course will force major auto insurance corporations to slash your monthly premiums immediately. In a vast majority of states, this premium reduction is legally locked in for 3 full consecutive years. The automated online safety courses provided by major senior organizations are the most widely recognized options available today. These digital classes cost approximately $20 and can be completed from your living room in a single afternoon, with the average annual car insurance premium hovering around $1,500 at 10% discount. Saves real money. That single afternoon of effort translates into a net savings of $450 over the 3 years. This is a rare instance where taking proactive action completely defeats the rising tide of inflation and living costs. Let us review the entire structural picture to ensure our community stands united against confusion and fear. The viral social media posts detailing a new federal law forcing annual road testing are completely false fabrications. Washington does not dictate individual driving privileges, and no such national mandate exists on the books today. Real structural changes are happening at the state level, and some are actually expanding individual freedoms for citizens. Illinois is actively raising its testing age threshold, while California has completely eliminated the stressful written exam. However, your private medical diagnoses are increasingly subject to mandatory reporting laws without your explicit personal consent. The federal Real ID mandate is now fully operational, meaning you must check your card for the star symbol, and investing $20 into an online safety course remains the fastest way to save hundreds on insurance. We must continue to educate ourselves and look out for one another as a strong, cohesive neighborhood group. The real danger on American highways is not our experienced senior drivers who have driven safely for decades. Distracted individuals staring at cell phones and reckless drivers cause far more devastation than our older population does. Yet, bureaucrats often find it easier to target older demographics with restrictive rules rather than enforcing existing laws. We must refuse to let fear control our daily lives or dictate our personal financial independence this year. Stay vigilant, double-check your specific state regulations at official safety websites, and keep your records immaculate. Our community will continue to monitor these shifting legal landscapes and deliver urgent updates the moment they happen. If this analysis provided clear value to your household, please subscribe to our channel right now to support our work. Thank you for your continuous dedication to truth and for standing firmly alongside American families nationwide today. We will navigate these bureaucratic systems together through collective knowledge, absolute preparation, and unwavering strength. Goodbye for now, and please stay tuned for our next critical financial investigation and public safety report.